Olivet, Hedden, Stimpson. I was born in November of 1904 in Taylorville, Illinois, on a farm.
At what age did you enter the organic school?
I went for, I was in the public school till 6th grade, and that same year went to the organic for 7th grade, through high school, and also teacher's training.
Do you recall the year you first went to the organic school?
I don't have that in
You have a much better guess than I would
I
have.
graduated in 1922 from high school.
In 1922.
From high school.
Very good. Would you tell us something of your experiences in the organic school? Did you enjoy it? Did you feel comfortable? Did you feel self-fulfilling?
Well, I was happy and loved to go to school. Marietta Johnson always said, do the best you can do, and don't have to compete with someone else.
You compete with yourself.
Right.
In other words, you do the best that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And your competition with someone else was non-existent.
And to try to develop your creative abilities, which everyone has some kind of creative talents, and you try to do the best you can with discover and develop your own.
What do you recall concerning Mrs. Johnson's personality, her physical appearance, her relationship with the students?
We all felt very, at least I thought we did, comfortable with her. And one of the things that I was been quite impressed with, she'd come in on a hot day for sparring, and she said, "Weather's a state of mind." And I often repeat that to someone else, and they're not very comfortable.
I think that's true too. In your experience, or rather, would you answer the question? Was there any definite limitation of the number of students in any individual class?
No, there were small classes.
Then there was no reason to limit it to 20 or less, because you only had 20 or less.
There weren't that many students there at that time.
Can you tell us something about what we call the life classes? I think it would be called lower school in the public school system. Did you have any formal work at that time, or was your activities related more to learning by doing?
Definitely learning by doing. We had projects to work out with that would include the different techniques and what do you call it? Different things in reading, writing, and arithmetic. I mean, we learned them by carrying out actual projects.
fundamental concepts, for instance, of numbers. You lay out so
Yes.
many sticks and you count them and you take so many away and you have so many left. That's beautiful. When did you, at what time did you begin to get into what we might term formal work? That is the academic work of history, mathematics, sciences.
In high school, we had those subjects, and they were taught very much as in formal schools. We did have some requirements to meet with those subjects.
In other words, your professors or your teachers expected of you to do to the
Yes.
best of your ability.
Yes.
And did they in any way challenge that?
But there was a thing I learned from some of the professors. You can't keep all the facts in your brain, but to learn to go and find the information you want is an important part of education.
Yes,
To know where to find information.
I think you did say you took teachers training.
Yes.
Do you recall some of the books that you may have worked from during that period of time? Oppenheim, possibly.
Oh, well, yes,
Henderson.
we studied.
I think those were the
Oppenheim and Henderson and John Dewey's work.
John Dewey. Those were, with the exception of John Dewey, those people were philosophers, and as it was Mrs. Johnson, but she put it to practical use. Now, John Dewey did for a number of years. But Marietta Johnson's school that's going on under her guidance for somewhat.
Well, I think she tried to apply the principles and to emphasize that learning is growing.
Learning by doing.
Yes.
That's the thing. Now, having been exposed to this philosophy of Marietta Johnson, do you feel that it's helped you better to meet life's challenges?
Yes, I feel that she was the greatest influence in my life after my mother. And I've had contacts where I could, with teaching nursery school, that I could use those creative practices. Incidentally, I went to Chicago with a Chicago professor's family who had come down here for the winter and were interested in the school. And Organic High School wasn't accredited at that time. They accepted me at Chicago if I could maintain a C average grade. And I didn't have any trouble staying at the University of Chicago for 2 full quarters. That just for other reasons I didn't go there longer.
That's a beautiful story. I think we'll conclude this interview with that, and thank you so much.